So what are a way to find viral niches for your YouTube automation channel? This is the age-old question, and no matter how many videos I or other people make, how to find niches, viral niches that are doing well right now, there will always be people that ask the question, what are ways to find niches on YouTube? How do you find niches on YouTube? How do I know if niche is gonna work on YouTube? So in this video, I'm gonna give you a breakdown of 5 ways you can find your niches online and some preparation work that comes with it. So I have here outlined the preparation, the different techniques, and then some validation for once you find your niches. So let's go start out with preparation, because the unfortunate truth is that a niche is not gonna fall on your lap. So when I get comments like this, like how do I find a viral niche? Like what are viral niches? Can you give me viral niches? I feel like people assume that they're just gonna get home after work and there's a viral niche sitting at the couch waiting for them or something. But the ugly truth is that you will have to put in the work to find a niche. And you need to do the research, you need to keep track of stuff you've been doing, and then you need to validate the niche that you are interested in getting into to see if it makes sense to do so, or like which niche that you found out of the, let's say, 20 ones has the highest potential for you to get views, to go viral, and to make you money. So there's a few things you need to do to prepare for starting niche research. And number one is that you have an Excel sheet with your niche research. So I always use this one in my community. This is like a shared one that I share in my tuber school here too, with hundreds of niches in it, where we do like the research on live calls and stuff, and where we just store stuff that we find on the calls. But step one to doing niche research is knowing the different techniques and storing the ideas that you find and just putting in the work. So instead of like looking online, looking at this video, looking at other videos of like niches you can do and find, start looking for niches yourself and start writing them down in a sheet like this, so that you actually understand the different niches that there are, the things you can do, why certain niches are working, what their monthly views are when they started posting video, which formats are working for them. And then the more you do that and the bigger this sheet becomes, the easier it will be for you to like actually find stuff and understand what works and doesn't stuff. Plus, you will need all these channels here for some later steps in the videos, where you basically use a channel that you find on here to come up with new channels, basically. Because that is the whole game of YouTube automation. You want to find outliers that are working for people on other channels and competitors, and then you want to double down on that with a new channel or switch that into a new channel, basically. So number one is making a sheet like this that covers the name of the channel, the link of the channel, the niche of the channel, the monthly views, and when this channel started, and what is working for this channel right now. And then ideally you can make something like, how can I replicate this or make a new channel based on the outliers of these channels, and make a testing strategy to see if that new channel will work, basically, right? So what you basically just do, you would store this, you would open up channels like this, you would see what they are doing, what's working for them. Well, this apparently didn't upload for a year, but they used to get really good views, doing like building mega engineering projects. It was very popular 2-3 years ago. Everyone was doing this. And based on the things that you find here and what works now, what worked in the past, you can ideate new channels to start, so to say, right? So step one is, keep that tracking sheet. Now, step number 2 is use something like vidIQ or 1 of 10 to validate your niches with. So really quick, let me just, as an example, open this one. So vidIQ here, with this you can find keywords and find their search volume and competition score. And then with 1 of 10, you can find videos and titles and see how well they are doing. So this was about like mega construction. Let's see what the main keyword here is for their mega engineering, ultimate engineering. Okay, let's just do engineering. So you're gonna look up like engineering stuff in vidIQ and 1 of 10. And then you get like outlier scores here, right? So these red boxes or blue boxes are the outlier scores. So you want to find stuff that really outperforms the rest of the channel views. This one 2 months ago got 430,000 views. How to design an AI native engineering. So yeah, I don't know what native engineering is, but it mixes AI, and that is like the narrative right now, right? How to do stuff with AI basically. So with these two tools, you can check the search volume and you can find competitors or other channels, and you can see what their thumbnail style and title style is to basically check how it works, and also to make your own branding templates of how you want your new channel to go and look based on what is working for other people. So get these tools. Ideally, they are both paid. I think VeraQ is like $5 and one of them is like $40 or $50 a month. I use these tools almost every day, and they're very like recommended when you're doing niche research on YouTube. So I would say invest in it. You're gonna need it until you find like a very viable niche, and even after it, for ideating new topics and video ideas, you will still need it. Now, number three is a ChatGPT AI prompt. I actually made a video about this on my channel, the video before this one last week. So you have to learn how to use AI and ChatGPT prompts and tools to find niches. And I showed that in this last video, but basically what you do is you give it a certain prompt, and then you put like an image of a channel in here, and then you want ChatGPT to ideate new topics and new channels and new formats that you can do based on what is working for these other channels. So maybe as an example, we can just really quickly do a live example here of this channel. So let's put this in here. Now let me just quickly say, follow the same ideation process and come up with new niches and formats based on these. Let's see what we get from here. So in this video, I showed you, okay, you're gonna upload this video and see it's gonna give you new channel IDs based on this channel's winning formats, but in other markets, so to say. So this was about like samurai wisdom. This one is about like Viking wisdom, stoicism, gladiator mindset, rebel rock wisdom, warrior monk habits. See, so it comes up with new stuff that you can potentially do. And same here, this one is about like mega building, mega construction, observation from engineering tech channels, future of medicine, health tech channel, extreme nature engineering, smart cities and future living, extreme military engineering, everyday extreme tech. See, so it comes up with IDs that you can do. And then once you have this ID, you can look for channels that are doing this already and see if they're doing well or not doing well. So that's number three. So these three things, I would say, have them ready when you start preparing your niche research, because the whole idea here is just to browse YouTube, browse channels, find channels that you've seen before, and then look them up with this ChatGPT prompt, with this 1 of 10 tool or VeraQ tool, to see which keywords are doing well, which competitor channels are doing well, which formats for videos are doing well, and then how you can switch those formats into something new using this ChatGPT technique I just showed you. And then you're just gonna look for, let's say this gives me the military engineering. Then you're gonna look on YouTube for like military engineering, for example. You're gonna see if there's channels out there doing it already, how they're doing, what their views are like, what their RPM is like. And if there's not a channel yet, you can either take a risk to start the first channel doing this based on the channel we found here, like the same thumbnail style, title style, for example. Or you say, no, that channel is not out there yet. I don't want to take the risk and invent the wheel sort of in this market. So let me look for something else first, like smart cities and future living, for example. And this is just like a process of ideating new stuff, finding stuff that works, ideating new stuff, and then testing new stuff. And you're only going to find your viral niche by doing this work over and over again, and actually starting a new channel and testing videos on it. So let's dive into some techniques to find niches. I think I have written down 5. So number 1 is incognito scrolling on the browse or the homepage. So basically what this means is you're gonna open an incognito tab. So you open an incognito tab, go to YouTube, and this is like a completely fresh YouTube page, right? So it has nothing to show for me right now. Okay, I have to search something first to get started with this. So why don't we use the one we found here, like military engineering. So let's just go for military engineering. And then it's gonna give us like a super fresh, clean YouTube page that covers these kind of things. So here, free documentary engineering, you have something. Mad Lab, 8 months ago, also good views. Here, Mega Builds, very popular channel. Okay, these are all like, there's quite some from like a few years ago, so let's do last year. And also 40, 20-minute videos. See, and now it gives you stuff, or like here, Daily Navy. See, like 1 month ago, almost 1 million views. US Army, not so many views. So now you have like 4 channels open here that do topics related to this. Now you can go and see what their search volume is, what their monthly views are, what their like video length is, what topics are working well from them. And then you can maybe come up with a new ID, or if you see something like a specific outlier that did really well compared to other videos, then you can like say, okay, I'm gonna start this channel about this outlier only and see how that performs in the long run. So this is like the incognito, like browse method. So you just look up some of these things and then channels pop up here. You analyze the channel and then you basically follow that same strategy here, looking it up in 1 of 10 vidIQ and in ChatGPT. And then you just see what comes up with like varying channels here. Or if that's something that got good views, maybe you can say, okay, I'm gonna go for this channel and test my first few videos on here. Okay, so that's like incognito scrolling. You can also just do this on your own browse homepage. But if I, for example, go on my personal brand channel on the browse homepage, it's very biased towards videos that I've watched in the past. So this doesn't always show you the best like YouTube automation style videos. Okay, number 2, influencer sharing niches and finding different formats. So on both on Twitter and on, for example, my YouTube, I want someone share like here videos like this, like top 6 faceless niches for September. And then here I did top 5 faceless niches for July, see? So if you watch a video like this, I'm giving you different niches in these videos that you can then again store in your Excel sheet and then use this method again to use it in ChatGPT to find like channels that you can do that are based off of these channels basically. And if you just do this process like 1 or 2 hours a day when you're starting out, you're gonna have an Excel sheet so big with so many different links and channel names and niches and formats, seeing what works and what is getting views, that you get a clearer idea of, hey, maybe I should start in this niche now. Maybe I should look into this niche now. And that way you just get more clear on the niche you want to start and that you can start. And yeah, the possibilities out there, right? And then at one point you just have to make a decision and say, okay, this is the first niche I'm going to start. Let's say in this case, I'm going to do like extreme military engineering about whatever, a specific topic within military engineering, or within military engineering, you're going to look for a certain format that you can make videos about that people are interested in. Okay, let's see what IDs we got here. So for example, here, extreme military bases. So maybe you can make like a channel about military engineering that covers the craziest military bases on the planet. And then all you do is like inside this military base in the US, inside this military base in Canada. I don't know how much information is out there on these bases, but just as an ID, niche, and then format covering military bases, for example, you see? That's how you want to go about this whole niche research thing. All right, so number 3 is tracking your stored Excel channels for outliers. So again, once you have a sheet like this, every now and then you just want to go look at some of these channels and see what is working for these channels. So let's say, for example, this one, Full Mount MMA, it's like MMA UFC channel. I'm gonna open it up. And this is like a news channel for UFC. So they just do a daily UFC news video channel. Now, for MMA and UFC, this market is pretty saturated about like daily news. But what you can do is say, hey, I'm more into another sport or into something else. Let me start like a news channel in this style about another topic, you know? And that way you just have a backlog of ideas that you can start. Also, this is a news channel. You can also do a documentary channel about sports. You can do a top 10 channel about sports. There's a lot of different formats within these niches that you can also try out. So yeah, it's a very quick and boring method, but it's literally what works. And it's just tracking what you already have and seeing, hey, maybe this one channel went viral again based on a certain topic that they did. Can I maybe make a channel around that specific topic that they did? And that is how you like track what you've already found, keep the monthly views in mind and see what works. And then you can come up with new topics based on these things that are working for these other channels already. Right? Number 4, looking into your own hobbies, interests, and finding what works. So whenever I start with clients, the first thing I always do is look at what their interests are, what their hobbies are, and if we can find channels around these things. This is not mandatory. You don't have to love the niche or the channel that you are doing. I run a bunch of channels that I'm not like personally interested in, but I do think when you're a beginner and you're starting out, it makes the work a lot more fun if you do enjoy a channel that you're making videos about. I actually have a really cool success story about this client. Let me show you really quick here. This one, Jeremy, and also Stephanie, honestly, like they build channels around things that I really enjoy doing in daily life and that they're genuinely interested in. And for example, Jeremy, when we found out that market that he liked, he had so much fun doing the research, looking for competitors, making the scripts, making the videos. And because he loves that topic so much, he actually, when he makes scripts and videos, he knows what he wants to see and what the audience likes to see. And he's making between $4,000 and $15,000 a month for 5 months already. And he's just doing the channel that he loves doing, that he loves talking about, loves thinking about. And it clearly shows because the people that watch his channel love the scripts, love the videos, and love the topics that he puts out because he knows about this market. Now, again, you don't have to do something that you're interested in, but I do recommend beginners find something that you at least enjoy thinking about, looking up information on and understanding the market, like what the market likes and wants to see. Because this just makes it so much easier for you to start your first channel if you actually enjoy what you were doing too. All right, so yeah, look into your own hobbies and interests. Don't force this though. If there's, let's say you are, in my case, into surfing, for example, and you've seen online like what the surfing channels are doing, if there's some good surfing channels out there, maybe the niche RPM is just too low and there's not enough search volume in a specific market to make it profitable, then don't force it just because you like it, you know? But if there's a market that has a very high total addressable market and a good RPM, then it's an idea of something that you could do. Now, number 5, always staying curious and testing things. So I know this doesn't maybe sound like an actual technique to find channels, but this is actually like almost like a life hack where if you just scroll Twitter, if you just scroll YouTube, if you are talking with friends and they talk about certain things, like let's say something that's coming out in the news right now, maybe there's like a trend going on in the world, and maybe it's just you browsing your YouTube or browsing your Twitter like I just mentioned. Sometimes you find the wildest idea by just seeing something and being like thinking about how does this actually work? Does this actually make money? Is this like a YouTube automation channel? Can I start a channel like this? Can I flip this to something that is relatable, that might also work based on me seeing this work, you know? So yeah, just stay curious and stay working and keep filling in your sheets and then validating them to like something like 1 of 10, for example. Because if you put like this topic in here now and then you start seeing things in here, who knows what you'll find, you know? So stay curious and actually do the work to try and find stuff that might pop off. Look at this one here. 4 months ago, got 10 million views. Construction workers can believe this technique. Let's really quickly look at this channel because that's an insane amount of views. So let's see what this channel is doing. Only 65 videos. See, these get an insane amount of view. 9 million views a month. So this is like sort of like construction hacks, like live invention hacks, see? And that's what I mean, like if, just looking at this, like we find this, who knows, like apparently something with these tires here is working really well. So that might be something that you can look further into, right? And that is what I mean with like this curiosity aspect. Just if you see something going viral on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, just be like, hey, what if I make a long form video about this, or a long form channel on YouTube about this? People seem to like it, so who knows, right? Incredible mountain highway constructions, genius truck inventions. See, so even from just randomly looking and explaining this, you already find like interesting stuff that you could put in a sheet and then maybe make a channel around. Okay, so once you've prepared and used these techniques to like fill up your sheets here, we need to go and validate the channels. And how you mainly do that is by finding the monthly views of a channel and seeing when they started. So for the validation, first thing I want to say, search volume helps. Search volume can be important to see how many people are interested in the market and if there's like a lot of people searching in the markets. What I do have to say though, most views you will get on YouTube automation is from browse and suggested. So from people browsing their homepage or watching a video and then getting suggested to another video. Unless you have like a search-based channel, the search volume is really going to matter. But higher search is always better because it does mean that the market is probably a little bit bigger than a market where search volume is very low. So it helps, but it's not a deciding factor. Just keep that in mind. Because like the reason I mentioned this, a lot of people in the past used to teach like look at the vidIQ, like search volume and only do something if there's like enough search volume on these keywords. And sure, again, it helps, but not all the people that watch YouTube are search viewers or search things up. So as a really quick example, again, like here, I doubt someone is gonna search for something like how China built train stations in 9 hours. I don't think that's really something that you get home after work and like, hey, let me look up on YouTube how China builds train stations. That's something I'm really interested in, you know? Maybe it does happen, I don't know, but just think about it. Like most people are maybe into engineering or into watching these like big engineering projects. They go on YouTube, they say this video about how China builds these train stations, and that is the video they click. So it's not always about the search volume. Tip number 2, so try to find 3 to 6 month old channels with over 300,000 views a month. Reason being, if it's 3 to 6 months, it means it's relatively new and it got a lot of views in a short amount of time. So the topic or the format they are doing is probably working pretty well. Now, it doesn't have to be 3,000. Ideally, it's higher. But let's say if your RPM is average like $5 to $10, on the low end, if it's $5, you will make $1,500 a month. On the low end, you're going to make $3,000 a month. So you want to analyze a channel if you're going to get into that market to decide if it makes sense to start it. Because what if a channel has been online for 12 months and they are making 100,000 views a month and you want to get into that market? Then it would mean that maybe after a year of trying, they are making like $400 or $500 a month from AdSense. That's not even like break even probably. So that is why it's very important to find something that's relatively new and gets a high amount of views, because that means that this market is like profitable and it's quick to launch and get up. So that's something you really want to be looking for. And that is why in the sheet it says the views and when it started. That's a like deciding factor when you're starting a new niche. So I'm gonna like start this like civil engineering stuff or like the military engineering stuff. Ideally, I want to find a few channels that are relatively new and getting good views, so that I know if I enter this market, I will probably get monetized fast too and start earning decent money soon. Number 3 is understand what niche format they have and if it's safe and at a high RPM. So again, for this one, it's 10-minute videos about like engineering. Some of them are 5 minutes, which greatly reduces the RPM you have. But I think the RPM on something like this would be like $4 or $5. So for every 1,000 views, you would get like $4 or $5. So you want to, once you do more channels and you meet some people that do channels too and talk about RPM, you get a better understanding of like what the RPM on a certain market will be roughly. You never know for sure. There's a lot of variables. But before starting in a market, you want to try and understand what the RPM is and what your earning potentials can be. Now, the safety aspect, a channel like this is probably pretty safe, but you also have like, let's say, more viral political news videos. These channels have a high risk of getting deleted. So the question is, do you want to run a high risk channel that can get a lot of views, but can also has the potential to get deleted randomly? Second, some channels that are about like, let's say, murder mysteries or horrifying deaths or something, they can like give you a yellow check mark on your monetization. And this means that your RPM is going to be like 1/10 of what it actually is. So if your topics are about like murders, killing, drugs, weapons, alcohol, like these kind of things, YouTube can put your ads on limited. I was looking for the word limited. And this means you will be earning a lot less money from your channel too. So there are some topics that you kind of want to avoid because they're just higher risk, and it can be very frustrating if you invest in a channel time and money and it's finally up and running, but then you get limited ads and you keep having to like talk with the YouTube support to like fix that. That's just an annoying process. So apart from the views and how when it got started, try to not get into like a too high risk of a niche, especially when you're starting out, because this is just so frustrating when you finally get a video that works and then you have limited ads and make no money from it, for example. Now, validation number 4, stop overthinking and just start testing. I think the biggest thing people get stuck on is trying to like over optimize their niche research, overthink what will work, what will not work, and be like hyper perfectionistic, and just because of that start procrastinating. Honestly, I think that's like a lot of the cases with people in the communities and in courses and coaching programs too. They just need that little push in the back to actually get started with a channel and not just stay stuck in research mode or stay stuck in that thinking mode where they don't even do the research and make a sheet like this, but they think they're doing something because they're just scrolling YouTube, but they're not actually validating ideas that they can get started with. So yeah, especially your first channel, don't overcomplicate it. It's probably going to fail, honestly, the first channel. You barely see people who do really well with their first channel. Of course, there's some people that make it work, but still see your first channel as a test, how to make videos and how to start a niche, and don't like take it too serious, so to say. It's better to get started quick and fail quick and learn from it than to not launch your first channel for the first 3 or 4 months. Now, number 5, follow a strategy to test and run your formats with. So what I like to do is set sort of like the goal to post 15 videos on a new niche and format that I do. And then from those 15 videos, maybe make like 3 or 4 different formats or like angles how you get into the market. And then based on these results, decide if you want to continue with the channel or not. If after 15 views, your best video has like 40 views, it's probably not going to work, and you might want to either switch the angle or switch to a new market. I am very much against the advice to just keep on posting and be consistent for 6 months. I think that if you have a good market, it will show almost from the first 5 videos immediately on. I think like 2-3 years ago, a lot of people would tell like beginners, just stay in the market, just stay consistent, and it will come eventually. But if you are in a bad niche, bad market with low quality videos and high competition, it's never going to work if you keep this strategy. So I'd rather have you like test 4 or 5 channels with 10 videos each than one channel with 60 videos if the momentum is not there, if the views are not increasing, and if it's been like 3+ months of you trying stuff and nothing working. So yeah, follow a proper strategy. You can look for my 5M strategy in the community if you want to, but it's basically like, at least 15 videos in a new format before making proper decisions, and then also knowing when to move on. Number 6, don't get stuck to your channel for 3+ months if there's no momentum. So it's basically what I said in number 5, right? I am very much against sticking to one channel for 3-5 months if there's no sign of improvement or getting close to monetization. And it's honestly like a lot of people I work with, they have channels that are 6 months old, 12 months old. They have like a few videos up, but it's not branded, it's not congruent, the topic is bad, maybe it's pre-monetized. Just start with a fresh channel with a fresh strategy and follow the testing strategy, Don't get too emotionally attached to your first channel. I know it's a big step and I know it sucks if you have to like kill it and move on. because this whole niche research, it's pretty boring work. For some of us, it can be daunting to start like your first channel, but if you always stay stuck to that one channel, you're never gonna make like improvements and make big moves with this YouTube stuff, you know? So yeah, don't stay stuck too long. And then last tip, start fresh. No pre-monetized channels or random channels you're on started 18 years ago. Way too often I have people who had like a personal brand channel 6 years ago, uploaded like 2 random selfie videos and want to use that channel as their YouTube automation channel for some reason. No, it takes literally 10 minutes to start a new YouTube channel. Just make a new Gmail, new YouTube channel, and start your channel strategy and niche fresh on a new channel. Don't contaminate your algorithm with a pre-monetized channel or an old channel from someone else, because you just want to have a clean slate, you know? When you test the format and a niche, you want the algorithm to find new people based on the niche that you've proposed to get started in. And yeah, with pre-monetized channels or other people's channels, there's too much confusion, you know? Maybe the niche you are starting in doesn't work because the pre-monetized channel is filled with people from India and Pakistan who have nothing to do with, let's say, the engineering channels we just found. So start fresh, follow one strategy, don't stay stuck too long, and keep on doing your daily niche research, all right? These were methods to find your niches, guys. I hope this was all clear and that it's useful to use. I think the biggest lesson is just to do this research day in, day out until you find something, and then actually get started, okay? If you are still a bit unsure how this works, if you want some more feedback personally and get questions answered like this in here from me personally, you can join my Faceless Tuber School. I have A to Z programs in here, how to find your niches, how to exactly do it. I give you 3 free one-on-one coaching calls and 40% off if you join on the yearly plan. I have plug and play sheets like these niche sheets in here and all the AI tools you need to get started. So if you are serious about YouTube automation, join Faceless Tuber School, get on a chat with me, and I will help you custom pick your YouTube automation channel. Now, last thing, guys, before we end this video, drop any comment you have in the description. I would love to help you out. And if you want to know how I use these AI prompts to launch channels within 2 hours, then click the video in here because I show you 5 AI prompts that you can use to launch a channel quick.